Hello and welcome to the Grace and Bacon YouTube channel. My name is Jessica and in today's video we have a brand new pattern release. It is from Rosa pattern and it is called the Fibi fold over crossbody. You guys, it's so cute. It's beautiful, right? So we've got the fold over part, right? So we have these magnetic snaps here that fold over to snap into place. Okay, you can undo that. We have a top zipper right here. Nice big zipper pocket. And then you open up another one and there's another pocket. And then you close this up and down at the bottom, there is another pocket. It's just so pretty. And then you open it up. There's a magnetic snap right here. You open that up. It's really roomy down in here. You've got a really unique slip pocket down here. I don't know if you can see that. It just came out so good. You guys are going to love it. We've got our straps, the connectors for the straps here, and then a back pocket, which is nice and roomy as well. Super big. The vinyl is from Mormino. I loved it. It does have a lot of pieces. Don't let that intimidate you, but you know what? Rosa patterns are always so good. Highly recommend it. I will have the link down below for her new release. I did make mistakes. Now I'm filming this tutorial while this pattern is still in testing. So when this pattern does come out, there may be changes to the pattern. So just keep that in mind and just pay attention. And also just pay attention to the errors that I've made. I did leave them in the video so you can see. And I did notate where my errors were and what not to do to make sure that you do it correctly. So yeah, you guys, I hope you make this bag. Go ahead and grab it at the link down below. And thank you so much to Rosa Patterns for allowing me to use your tutorial, for using your pattern on my channel. I love it so much. I can't wait to make more. You're gonna love it too. All right, guys, so go ahead and get your pattern. Let's go ahead and sew this baby up. So let's go ahead and go over our pattern pieces that we're gonna need to make our Fibi fold over crossbody bag. There's going to be 4 zippers. Make sure that you cut them to the length that's listed into the pattern. You're gonna need your zipper pulls. I think you need 4 zipper pulls. Yes, you're gonna need 4 number 5 zipper pulls. I'm using number 5 zipper tape here. You're gonna need front zipper tabs. There are 6 of them cut from your lining. You'll have back zipper tabs. You've got 2 exterior and 2 for your lining. It does require woven interfacing. However, I'm using waterproof canvas, so I will not be adding waterproof or woven interfacing to my zipper tabs. 2 connectors for the exterior. You'll need a back zipper trim, just 1 for your exterior. This does have a piece of stabilizer on here. This is Decoville Light. You have your slip pocket side trim. You'll need 2 cuts from your exterior. You have your upper front pocket. This is pattern piece A for the exterior. And then on this, you'll need to pay attention to the placement for your Decoville light. And then also on the pattern pieces, which I can't show on here, she has little symbols on the pattern pieces. And you'll want to take a craft knife and cut out the symbols and go ahead and trace them on the back side of your pieces. Where she instructs you to do that. Okay, so there is our upper front pocket, our exterior pattern piece A. You'll just need 1 cut of that. we have our upper front pocket lining piece. This is piece B. This is 2 pieces, and you'll need to also make sure you pay attention to the pattern pieces because one pattern piece is shorter than the other, and they're also mirrored, okay? And again, I'm using waterproof canvas. This pretty floral is from Fabric Therapy, so I will not be interfacing any of that. Our middle front pocket, pattern piece C, is your exterior. Same situation on this pattern piece. Pay attention to where your Decoville light is fused. And then don't forget to also check the pattern piece to make sure that you add the symbols as noted on the pattern pieces. The middle front pocket lining is pattern piece D, and you'll need 2 cuts of that, okay? And that is also mirrored, and you'll also make sure you pay attention to that pattern piece as well. You've got your lower front pocket, pattern piece E, which is your exterior. You've got 1 symbol on the top, but there will not be one on the bottom of this piece. And then you have your stabilizer. The way she has the stabilizer done on this bag, make sure you don't skip out on the exterior pieces because that's where all of your hardware or your snaps go, and you want to have that for your what am I trying to say? You want to give your magnetic snaps the structure it needs. Next up is our lower front pocket lining. It's pattern piece F. You've got 2 pieces of that, and those are mirrored. You have your top trim, pattern piece G, 2 exterior. Now you'll need to really pay attention to this because these are fused differently. The back top will have Decoville Heavy on the top, and then on the top front, it's Decoville Heavy on the top and then Decoville Light on the bottom. So make sure you pay attention to the stabilizer needed and where to fuse that. I've got my back pocket here. It's pattern piece H. You'll need 1 for the exterior. And then you've got your Decoville Light here. I will be placing my bag tag on this panel. I think it'll look really good there. Oh, it's from the Heartwood and Hide. I'll have the link down below if you'd like to get your own tags. We've got our back pocket lining, which is piece I, and there are 2 pieces for that. And again, make sure you pay attention to the pattern pieces because the sizes are a little different. You have your main lining piece, which is pattern piece K, and you'll have 2 cuts for that. You've got your slip pocket. This is part of your lining. You'll need 1 cut, and on this you'll want to pay attention to the measurements given in the pattern and also where to place your interfacing, okay? And you'll need tons of clips, of course. You always need those. I went ahead and pre-made my strap just to go ahead and get that out of the way. So you're gonna need your 1-inch swivel hooks, 2 of those. And then you've got your adjuster, the slider adjuster you'll need right there. You need 1 of those. And then, yeah, and if you're gonna make a strap or if you're gonna use webbing, but if you're gonna make your own strap, you wanna pay attention to the pattern. So I've got that one, I'll set that to the side. You're gonna need some rivets, some magnetic snaps. You're gonna need D-rings or triangle rings, whatever you'd like to use. I'll be using 1-inch triangle rings. You'll need a lighter. You're gonna need some scissors, some marking tools. You'll need double-sided tape, I'm sure. And then I think you're also gonna need some pinking shears. And if you don't have pinking shears, that's okay. Whenever we get to that point, you can always just cut little triangles. And then eventually we're gonna be putting all of our pieces into packs as explained into the pattern. And I think that's all our pattern pieces and everything we need for the Fibi crossover, the Fibi fold over crossbody bag. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Right now we are going to go ahead and prepare for our magnetic snap installation. So you're going to need, I'm using the magnetic snaps that have a rivet back. So I will not be using the ones with the prong. If you will be using the ones with the prong, you'll need to follow the instructions in the pattern. But I will be using a rivet press. So you'll need, if you're doing any of the ones that I'm using, you'll need 3 rivet backs, and then you're going to need 3 female and 3 male ends of your magnetic snap, and then you're going to need your 2 top trim pieces, which is pattern piece G, and you're going to need your upper front pocket, pattern piece A. And what we're going to do is we're going to, you want to make sure you have this correctly, because your back top and your top front are stabilized different. So you're going to take your back top trim, your front top trim, and then your upper front pocket, okay? And we're going to basically separate all 3 sets of our magnetic snaps so that we can keep everything in order. So what we're going to do now is place the female snap. The female snap looks like this. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a difference with the male and the female snap. The male snap has a raised center, and then the female snap does not, okay? What we're gonna do is you're going to take 1 male snap and place it right in the center of your back top, okay? And then you're going to take a female end and place it right in the center on the top front. And then the bottom will have 2 male ends on the bottom of the top front. So a female snap and 2 male snaps. And then over here on your upper front pocket, you have 2 female. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Let's slide this over a little bit. This is just to keep everything organized and together. So your upper front pocket, 2 female magnetic snaps right here. So we're going to be making some measurements to install all of our snaps, okay? So next we're going to go ahead and start installing the male side of the snap onto the back top trim. Okay, this is where we put that male magnetic snap on this one piece in the center. You want to go ahead and grab a marking tool and a ruler. And then you want to have your back top trim wrong side up, okay? So make sure that you have everything fused here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check the pattern, and we're going to, you want to mark the center. I have not done that yet, so if you have not done that, you'll want to mark the center. I'm just marking it with this pen real quick. So we're going to make our measurement from the top edge of the stabilizer. You want to make sure that you did place the stabilizer where it needs to go, because this is important to make sure you have your snap on the stabilizer, okay? So down the center, from the top of your stabilizer, we're going to mark 5/8 of an inch. And it should be right in the center, okay? This is where you want to grab your Japanese hole punch or your hole punch, so we can go ahead and put a hole through here. All right, I've got my hole punch here. I'm gonna go ahead and make that hole right at the placement we just made. Okay, let's set that down. Now you want to have the male end be on that front, okay? You don't want it to be on the back, otherwise you won't be able to use it. So since I'm using, excuse me, the ones with the rivet backing, I will go ahead and place that back on here, okay? And so this is what it should look like on the top back trim, okay, with the male end on the exterior side. So I'm going to go ahead to my rivet press and just press this down real quick. So here we go. Our back top trim with the male side is now complete. You can set that to the side. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start our top front. I went ahead and marked my center of the stabilizer, okay? And then for the female end of the top stabilizer, I went ahead and made my mark here. It is the same, excuse me, the same measurement as the back top trim. So I've got my mark here for the top for this magnetic snap. I'm gonna wait to make my hole in just a moment so I can do these two together at the same time. So I've got my center here, and what we're gonna do is you're going to, I'm gonna just scooch these over a little bit. You wanna grab your ruler and you're gonna measure 1/2 inch down from the top edge of this stabilizer, okay? And you're gonna come over from this center mark and you're gonna come out 3.5 inches and then make your mark, okay? And that's where you're going to install your snaps, okay? Okay, I've got my marks here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my hole punch and I'm gonna go ahead and get those holes punched out. Okay, so the holes are punched now. And remember, the female snap is gonna go on the top, okay? You want it on the exterior, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of my rivets and place it right on top of there, like so. And then I've got my male ends that need to go on the bottom. So go ahead and install the male end. I need to grab a couple more of my rivets. So grab your other male end and place it in the other hole on that right side and place that rivet in place. So the back should look like this. If you have prongs, you'll obviously have prongs, and then you'll need to grab some duct tape or some stabilizer and place it over your prongs so that they don't come loose with time or start damaging any of the fabric. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead to the rivet press and I'm going to press these down, okay? So here we have it. We've got male ends down at the bottom and a female end at the top, okay? So our front top trims are now complete with our rivets in place. Set that aside for now. Let's go ahead and go to the upper front pocket. And if you remember, we've got one on each side and they're both female ends. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab 2 more of my rivets and set those to the side. I have 2 marks here because I made an error. The actual center of my piece is this first drawn line here, okay? So we're gonna take a ruler and we're gonna make a measurement, and you're gonna do 1/4 inch down from the top of the stabilizer and then over from the center 3.5, just like before. So right at that center mark, it's 1 1/4, which I need a bigger ruler for this. All right, 1 1/4, and it is going to be 3.5 inches. Okay. And you make your mark, and you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So it's 1 1/4 down and then 3.5 inches over from the center mark, okay? All right, so go ahead and grab your hole punch and mark that hole. I'm gonna flip this so it's right sides out. I'm gonna go ahead and take my female ends and place them right in those holes. And then place my rivet on the back. All right, so it should look like this, okay? The female ends are now installed on the front of our upper front pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead to the rivet press and install these real quick. Okay, so our upper front pocket, pattern piece A, is now complete with our female magnetic snaps. Okay, so you can grab your upper front pocket, both pieces of your top trim. I'm going to place my pattern. I love these things. They're so awesome. Thank you so much for adding this into your pattern. It is so very helpful. I'm going to go ahead and set these to the side right now. We're going to go ahead and grab our zippers and also the zipper tabs. We're going to begin working on that. Okay, so we've got all of our zippers here. Okay, now is the time to go ahead and install your zippers, your zipper pulls. You don't want to forget to do that before you put in all your zipper tabs. So go ahead and install your zipper pulls if you haven't done that yet. Okay, so we've got all of our zipper pulls on our zippers. You don't want to forget those. And we've got our front zipper tabs, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to take them and fold them in half, okay? And they're all going to be fold lengthwise. So it looks like this. So we're folding them in half, wrong sides together, like so. Okay, and you're going to do that for all 6 of these. We've got 3 different sizes of zippers. You'll want to get your 2 biggest, okay, the smallest or the shortest, and then the other one we'll just set to the side for now. So your longest and your shortest, okay? So we're going to take our folded zipper tabs and take them and place the raw edges up against the edge of our zipper and grab a clip like this. So the folded edge should be on the side of the zipper. So you'll want to go ahead and do that on all of the zippers that we're working on right now. All right, so we're going to take all of these 3, I think just the 3. Yeah, we're going to take all of these to the machine and we're going to sew at the seam allowance given in the pattern, okay? So let's go to the machine and sew those down. All right, so we are now at my sewing table. So what we're going to do now, since we have sewn all of your zipper tabs on with the raw edges to the raw edges of the zipper, now we're going to take our fold and we're just going to, I am going to bring it up to where we've just sewn and just kind of fold, finger press this down, and then flip that folded edge over to meet the other side, okay? So this is the back side now, and then this is the front side now. So now what we're going to do is sew along the bottom edge at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, okay? And make sure that you catch the back of that folded edge, okay? So go ahead and do that for all 6 sides. All right, so all of those are done, okay? We've got 3 zippers complete. So we're gonna go ahead and set this to the side. Now you'll grab your back zipper tabs, okay? And then we're gonna grab our last zipper. So there should be 2 exterior pieces and then 2 lining pieces. Okay, so make sure your zipper pull has been installed. You're going to take the right side of your exterior piece and place it right side down on top of the front zipper. And then you're going to take the right side of your lining piece and place it underneath on the wrong side. So it should be sandwiched. So right sides of your lining should be wrong side together with your zipper, okay? Wrong side up, zipper is sandwiched like so. You want those raw edges to be lined up. Make sure you have singed your zipper edge and go ahead and clip that together. Lining right side up. I'm going to place this, the back side of my zipper, right on top like this. And then I'm going to take my exterior piece and lay it right side down to meet those raw edges. I'm going to clip that together. All right, so this is what it should look like right now. We are going to go ahead and sew this down on each side at the seam allowance given in the pattern, okay? All right, so we have sewn this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. So now what you want to do is grab some scissors, and we're going to trim the seam allowance of our exterior of the tab only right here at the edge of the zipper, okay? Only the exterior. This is to reduce bulk in that area. So this is what you should have right now. You've got it trimmed like so. Now we're going to flip this up, both lining and exterior. We're going to flip this up. I'm going to grab 2 clips, 1 for each side. I'm going to clip this top raw edge. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew the bottom and just do 1/8 of an inch seam allowance here. So do that on both sides. So again, I'm going to flip this up on both sides like so. I'm going to grab a clip. Your ends should match up here, and if they don't, it's fine. It'll still work out. Okay, so it should look like this now. Okay. Here's the back. I'm going to go ahead and go to the machine and top stitch this on each side at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so this zipper is complete. You can go ahead and set this to the side. Now we're going to work on the strap and the connectors. Now I've already done my strap. My strap is already complete. So for the strap, you'll want to go ahead and follow along in those instructions. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my 2 connectors. We are going to go ahead and start on that. For the connectors, you'll want to go ahead and turn them right side down, so the wrong side is up. And you want to make sure to go ahead and draw that center line on the long, not from the short edge, but from the long sides. And you want to make sure you pay close attention to where to place your stabilizer, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some double-sided tape. All right, I am using 1/2 inch double-sided tape. This is from Weft and Warp Company. I believe I purchased this from morebino.com. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the paper. Okay, so we are going to take these long raw edges and place them to meet that line in the center, okay? Now your stabilizer should be at the edge of your folded edge here, okay? All right, so go ahead and do the same thing on the other one. Your raw edges should be touching now, and this is what the back should look like. And then here is the front. So you'll go ahead and do that for your other connector. So now we're going to go ahead and top stitch on each long edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. All right, so our connectors are now top stitched on each long edge. We're going to go ahead and set this to the side, and we're going to go ahead and start organizing everything into packs. Okay. Pack number 1 is everything that you need to create your strap. I've already done that, so I'm going to go ahead and set pack 1 over to the side for now. Pack number 2, we've got here, you'll want to have those 2 zippers that are the exact same size, okay? You're going to have your lower front pocket lining. This is pattern piece F. There are 2 pieces. You'll need those. You're going to need 2 sets of your rivets. And that lower front pocket, which is pattern piece E, and it's 1 cut, okay? So here is pack number 2. We'll set this to the side for now. I'm going back to pack number 2 real quick because I made an error. You only need 1 of those zippers. So you've got 2 that are the same size. You'll be able to know the measurement that you need in the pattern, but you'll only need 1 of those for pack number 2. Okay, so right now I'm working on pack number 3. And then for pack number 3, you're going to need that other zipper that is the same size as the one we just used in pack number 2. And you'll need your middle front pocket lining, which is pattern piece D, and there's 2 pieces for that. And then your middle front pocket pattern piece C, your exterior, which is 1 piece for that. All right, so here is pack number 3. We're going to set this to the side. All right, so for pack number 4, you're going to need your upper front pocket, pattern piece A, which is your 1 exterior. Your upper front pocket lining, which is pattern piece B, which is 2 pieces. And then you're going to need your smallest zipper, and this is pack number 4. Set that to the side. Okay, so for pattern pack 5, we are going to need our top trim front piece. So the front top trim, we're going to need our main lining piece, pattern K, pattern piece K. You'll need 2 cuts of that. You'll need your slip pocket, which is just 1 piece, and then you're going to need your slip pocket side trims, and there are 2 pieces of that. And then you can also grab a sew-in label if you'd like to. This one says Breathe, You've Got This. It is from the monthly subscription of, I forget what it's called, Sewing Blurbs. And I will link that down below. So this is pack number 5, and we will go ahead and set this to the side. Okay, so for pattern piece, pattern pack number 5, you'll also, this is number 6, but for pack number 5, you will also need rivets. So keep in mind that you'll need rivets for several of your packs. So just keep that in mind. I just have them in a bag, and they're all, I didn't separate them or anything, so I'll just pull them as I need them. So for pack number 6, you are going to need your connectors. So there's 2 of those. You'll need that exterior zipper that we've done. You'll need this top back trim, and remember to make sure you're grabbing the right piece, okay? Because it's the same piece, but it's a different piece, if that makes sense, because we do have the magnetic snaps installed differently. So just make sure you pay attention to that. Your back zipper trim, your back pocket, and I'm also going to be placing my bag tag on that back pocket. Your back pocket lining for the 2 pieces. And this is pack number 6, and I believe that is the last pack. So we'll go ahead and set that to the side, and we'll begin working on pack number 1. I'm sorry, I will not be doing pack number 1 because I've already done the strap. So if you need assistance with the strap, just make sure you follow along on with the pattern. It's really easy. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with pack number 2. So I'll go ahead and set pack number 6 to the side and grab pack number 2. Okay, so we've got pack number 2 here, our zipper. I'm gonna go ahead and set this little label to the side. We've got our lower front lining pieces and our lower front pocket. All right, so one of your lining pieces is shorter than the other. So right now we're gonna grab the lining piece that is the smaller of the 2. So pay attention to which one is smaller. We're going to go ahead and lay this one right side up. We're gonna grab our zipper. We wanna make sure that the zipper tape is closing towards the right, okay? We are going to place this right side up along this edge here, and we're going to clip into place. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and baste this zipper into place. Make sure when you're sewing that together that you are moving that zipper out of the way. So we have basted the zipper on. All right, so go ahead and grab your exterior and place this right sides down. Go ahead and clip the top edge. They should match up. So right now we're looking at the back side of your exterior piece. Your zipper should be right side up, and then your lining. So it should be sandwiched, your zipper should be sandwiched in between, just like so. Go ahead and sew these pieces together at the seam allowance given in the pattern. Okay, so now we're going to press the lining away from the zipper. We're going to top stitch. So you want to have the seam go beneath your lining here. So I'm just pressing the seam. So we're not top stitching over the exterior. You want your seam allowance to go behind your lining. So you will be sewing over the zipper and that exterior piece of the seam allowance here. So fold that up And we're gonna go ahead and sew this at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on the lining and zipper, okay? So this is what it should look like right now, okay? So we have only top stitched along the zipper on the lining side only. So now go ahead and grab your other lining piece. We're gonna lay it right side down and we're going to place it to meet the top edge of that zipper. So go ahead and clip that together. So it should look like this, okay? So when you turn it over, you're looking at the back side of your lining, and this exterior piece is not top stitched. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to stitch along the top, okay, on the other side of the zipper. I will be going to the machine and I'm going to place this so that this is down on the bed of my machine, okay? So I'm looking up at the exterior. All right, so this is what we have, okay? This is what it's looking like. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to turn this over and we are going to take some really sharp scissors. And we're going to trim the seam allowance down on the exterior piece only. Don't cut your zipper, just trim down the exterior only. So just be really careful. Okay, so that has now been trimmed down, okay? Okay, so it says in here that we should have cut off a symbol. Mine's kind of still there, so it's fine. I'm going to flip this over, okay, so that we're looking at the exterior front, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a marking tool and I'm going to mark a hashtag. All right. Hashtag has been marked, or pound sign, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the next piece, which I believe is we're going to clip all the edges to this lining together. And if they're not matching up, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I can see that mine is just a smidgen bigger and it's fine. We're going to close it up anyways. Okay, so if you have that problem like I do, don't even worry about it. Okay, so I'm gonna sew with the exterior's backside facing up, okay? I'm gonna start sewing actually on the right side, and I'll go down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And what you wanna do is start and stop before you get to the edge here. You do not wanna keep sewing over the exterior here. So just stop when you get as close as you can to that exterior on both sides, okay? Okay, so as you can see, I stitched as close as I could, okay, to that exterior. That's as far as you need to go right now, okay? All the way, and that same thing on the other side. And now you're gonna grab some shears and we're gonna trim down the seam allowance here, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna take this piece, okay, and we're going to, we've got our stabilizer here. And what we're gonna do is basically take our lining piece and we're going to, not our lining piece, but this whole piece, and fold it right where that top edge of our stabilizer piece is, okay? And we're going to grab a bunch of clips and we're gonna clip that edge. So that's why your stabilizer is important here, because we need it for placement. So again, we are going to take this piece and fold it wrong sides together right at the top of that stabilizer and fold it down, okay? And start clipping that top edge here, okay? So it'll look like this, like so, which something is wrong. All right, so as you can see here, I have made a mistake. This should be on the opposite side. I'm gonna have to go and fix all of that, okay? Because it shouldn't look this way. It should be on the opposite side, okay? I'm gonna go and fix that. Okay, I fixed it. It took me a while, but I fixed it. And I used the wrong pattern piece. So when we are taking the lower front pocket lining, we want the one that is shorter than the other one, but it's wider on the bottom when it's right side up. Okay, I chose the complete opposite. So make sure that you pay attention to that and the orientation of that before you start sewing that. I'll make a note also in the video where I place the wrong one and make sure, you know, I said just to notate that. So sorry about that, but we fixed it and it's supposed to look like this. Okay. All right. So now we're at the part where we are folding this down right over the top edge of the Decaville light. So I'm just grabbing a couple of clips and I'm just going to clip that together. So that is what we should have at this moment, okay? It should look like this. All right, so I think now is the time that we are moving on to the next, I think it's the next, what's it called? If you're gonna be placing a tag here, this is where you're going to go ahead and do that. You'll place your tag here. I am not going to be placing a tag here only because I don't have the metal tags just yet. I'm going to be using my cork label from the Heartwood and Hide. I just don't think it would go well on this front panel, so I am going to go ahead and put it on the back panel. But this is where you're going to go ahead and put your metal tag if you have one. I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab our pack 3. We've got pack 3 here. Got your zipper, your middle front pocket lining pieces, excuse me, and then you have your middle front pocket piece C. Okay, so we're going to work on pack 3, but I thought we were setting this part aside, but we're not. We're going to actually bring this back and we're going to set aside our zipper and also our lining pieces for right now. So we should have both of our exterior middle front pocket and the bottom front pocket lying face up. Okay, so it should look like this. All right, so it'll look like this. So we've got the zipper up now with this. Okay, I want to make sure that's the top. I have it labeled here, the top. So now we're going to flip this so it's wrong sides up. Okay, and you want to make sure your hashtags are here. Okay, top and the bottom. Okay, I have turned them back right sides up. I'm going to flip this over. This got really confusing for me because of my lining pieces, but we want the zipper and the front top, I'm sorry, the middle bottom where the hashtag is to be right sides together with the zipper. So line up the bottom edge where the hashtag is with the zipper. Okay, so you'll go ahead and sew this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern and make sure you move that zipper pull out of the way. Okay, so this looks all funky, I know, right? But this is what we have. Okay, so we've got this. This is the bottom. Looks pretty good though. I love this color. I've been waiting to use it. Just been kind of hoarding it. Okay, so I think we are going to be top stitching the top only. We're not top stitching the bottom. So we're top stitching only this top edge. Do not top stitch this bottom edge up the bottom. Okay, only your middle against that seam right here. And we're going to top stitch at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and you will do it from zipper tab to zipper tab. Okay, don't do it all the way across. All right, we have that top stitched. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the vinyl is amazing. Oh, okay, sorry, I don't mean to just stare at this, but it's just so pretty. I'm already loving how this is coming together. All right, so let's move on. I think now what we need to do is trim the seam allowance from where we just sewn, and you want to sew, or not sew, you want to remove only the exterior from the seam allowance. Do not cut your zipper tape, okay? So just trim the seam allowance of that exterior where you just sew. Okay, so I'm just making all kinds of mistakes today. Bear with me here. You should trim the seam allowance before we top stitch. So I didn't do that. It's fine. I'm not going to go back and remove my stitches since I already have the holes there. So I'm just going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab our middle front pocket lining, and we are going to grab the shorter one of the two. So I'm going to double check and make sure I'm grabbing the correct one. Shorter. I even wrote it on the back right here, shorter. So can't mess this up, hopefully. All right, and then I'm grabbing my zipper. All right, I'm gonna set this aside for a moment. I am going to lay this so that it's right side up. All right, and we're gonna clip along that top edge. You want to make sure that your zipper is closing to the right, so I needed to turn that around, and then now we'll go ahead and clip that top edge. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to baste down our zipper. Okay, so I've got that zipper basted in place. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab this whole exterior here. Okay, we want the top of the middle, not the bottom. Just pay attention to that. We don't want the bottom piece, we want the top of the middle. I am going to place the zipper right side down on that top edge. So we've got the zipper sandwiched in between our lining and that middle panel here. And just clip that top edge, and we're going to sew this at the seam allowance given in the pattern. All right, make sure you move the zipper pull out of the way. This is what it should look like right now. So you've got your lining and then your exterior panel, they are right sides together, and your zipper should be right sides together with your panel. All right, let's go ahead and sew that down. Okay, so now we have that stitched together. We're gonna go ahead and take our lining and we're going to pull it away from the main panel and just finger press here. You want the seam to be behind your lining. We are going to top stitch on our lining only, not on the exterior pieces, only on our lining pieces right here, okay, at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so go ahead and grab your other lining piece. We're going to lay the second middle front pocket lining right sides together with that first. Over here, we're going to line the edges. I have here listed on the top, it's the full size and it is the top. I have to do that, otherwise I will not get the pieces correctly. So we're going to take this and place it with the straight edge right side down onto that top zipper that's right here. Line that edge up. Okay, so I'm going to take this under like so, okay, and I'm going to baste this down along the top edge so we can baste the lining piece and our zipper together, okay? Okay, so now at that top middle exterior on the back side, you'll want to go ahead and take some scissors and trim down the seam allowance of the exterior piece only. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clip our lining pieces together. We're gonna close it up just like we did on our other lining pieces. I'm gonna keep my exterior right side up. I'm just gonna clip along this edge. We're gonna do the same thing that we did before. We don't wanna sew up over the zipper, so we're just gonna sew up to the zipper tab on both sides. And if yours is like mine, where the lining on one side is longer than the other, it's fine, not a problem. We have a big seam allowance here, so we can just trim that down. We're going to be trimming down the seam allowance anyways. So let's go ahead and sew this up at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And once again, just make sure you don't go over those zipper tabs. We don't want to go over that. So start and end right before that, okay? Okay, so go ahead and grab some scissors and we're gonna trim down our seam allowance. Okay, so now that we have trimmed off the triangle from the other side here, you wanna make sure to mark the triangle on the center on your lining pieces here. Okay, so I've got the triangle marked over here. We're not gonna be top stitching the bottom of this either. So this is what we've got at the moment, okay? So only thing that's top stitch on our front exterior is only the bottom of your middle exterior. So this should not be top stitched and neither should this. This is meant to be a slouchy bag, okay? So I think it's time now to start working on the upper front pocket, which is pack 4. So go ahead and I think we still need this. So keep this out and grab pack 4. Okay, so we've got pack 4. You've got a zipper. We've got our upper front pocket lining pieces. There are 2 of them, which is pattern piece B. I'm going to set this to the side. I don't think we're doing this just yet. And then our upper front pocket pattern piece A, which is the 1 piece. Okay, I'm going to set this lining piece to the side right now along with the zipper. All right, so this is what it should look like, okay? When you're looking at it right side up. This should be the top, yes, the top with the heart, like so. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to take our top zipper here and we're going to line up the bottom of our top, what is this called? The upper front pocket. So we want to match up those triangle pieces, okay? So the bottom should be a triangle. So I'm gonna lay this so that it's right side up. And I'm going to place this right side down with the triangle bottom. That edge should be the edge going along the zipper. So we'll go ahead and we'll clip that edge, those edges together. Okay, so now we're gonna sew the upper front pocket to the middle front pocket using the seam allowance given in the pattern, okay? Make sure to move your zipper out of the way. Mine is at the very top right now. All right, so when you flip this up, this is what we've got so far, okay? Look at that. How cool. Oh, I love that. Okay, all right. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to grab your scissors and we're gonna trim the seam allowance right at the top where the triangle is, okay? We're only trimming the exterior only. All right, so we've trimmed that. Now you wanna go ahead and finger press this top. We're gonna finger press the upper front pocket away from the middle front pocket. We are gonna go ahead and top stitch this from zipper tab to zipper tab. You don't wanna go any further. So zipper tab to zipper tab. All right, and there we go. So that is top stitched. We're not top stitching the bottom. Once again, we're leaving that alone. Okay, so now we're at step number 23. We want to have our whole front panel right side up. We're going to take our bottom. You're going to lift it so that they are now right sides together. Now, when you were preparing for your stabilizer, you should have a line marked here, okay, across the whole panel to place your stabilizer. There is a measurement in the pattern that you will use. You are going to make your mark as indicated in the pattern. You're going to do that on both sides. And the reason this is being done is because we need to sew the panels together, okay? So that they're together like this. Now, if we didn't do that, there could be a hole there. So making this mark, we are able to have the two panels together on both sides to make sure they are sewn together. So what we're gonna do is go to the machine and sew along the line that we just drew based off of the measurements given in the pattern. So let's go to the machine and sew these two panels together. I will clip them together just to make sure they stay together. Okay, so now that is done, you will now place a hole. You just want to do it a little bit away from your stitches. So basically I'm just going to come right above where my stitches ended. So above, I don't know if you can see my mark. There's my mark right there. So I'm going to come right above where my stitches ended and just put a hole in there and put a rivet. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. So come just a little bit above where your last stitch is. Go above it, make a little mark, oops, right there, and just make a mark and add a rivet there. This just adds extra security for that area. Right, so I've added the rivets right above my stitches where it ends on both sides. So now we're gonna go ahead and grab our upper front pocket lining pieces. I think we're gonna be grabbing the shorter ones. So I'm grabbing both of them just to make sure. Pretty sure I have this labeled. Nope, got them upside down here. Okay, so yeah, this one is my shorter lining piece. So we want that and then the zipper. And you want to make sure you have the top. I have it labeled here at the top. You want to make sure you have the top correct because this is not the top. Okay, we're going to go ahead and clip our zipper to our lining piece, and you want it to be right side up and the zipper should be closing to the right. Let's go to the machine and get that sewn on. All right, so that is basted on. Let's go ahead and grab our huge main panel piece, and we are going to place the upper front pocket with the upper front lining, and we're placing this right sides together. So go ahead and clip that top edge here. All right, let's go ahead and sew that down, and don't forget to move the zipper pull. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and press the lining away from the zipper like we've been doing on the other ones, and we're going to top stitch the lining in the zipper at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so turn over your piece, and then we're gonna trim the exterior edge only, just like we've done on the others. So go ahead and get that trimmed off, and remember, don't trim your zipper. Go ahead and grab your other upper front pocket lining piece, and we're gonna lay this right sides together with the first. So go ahead and flip that around like so. Make sure you have the right piece. I've got mine labeled. So I'm going to turn this over so it's right sides together, and we're going to line it up with the top edge of the other side of your zipper. I'm going to sew it with everything underneath so I can sew right along the top of the zipper. Okay, so now we have the other lining piece sewn together. We need to make sure to add our heart symbol because we trimmed it away, so make sure you do that. I went ahead and did mine. Now we are going to take our lining pieces and we are going to clip them together and sew them down just like we have on the others. So let's go ahead and sew this one together. Make sure, remember, we don't go over the zipper tab, so you want to stop right before and begin right before, okay? This is what we've got right now. All right, so I went ahead and sewn up this lining, trimmed the seam allowance down, and now we're going to go ahead and work on, I think, the next pack. So pack number 5. Okay, so we're only grabbing the top trim, the front only right now, so the top front. So we know this is the top. I've made my marks, and I know that the female magnetic snap is the one on the top as well. Okay, so there should be a heart on the bottom of your front top trim. Okay, and then there should be a heart on the lining back here where that top zipper is. We're going to match up those hearts, right sides together, and clip along that top edge. Go ahead and sew that down from zipper tab to zipper tab. All right, so we've got that sewn together, and what you're going to do now is you're going to trim the that seam allowance from your exterior only up here. Okay, so go ahead and do that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to top stitch the top only, so not this one, only this one. Okay, we're going to press this down and we're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, and when you do that, make sure everything is down. Nothing should be up when you're top stitching that, okay? I did forget to mention that part. Next, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work on our darts real quick down at the bottom. So grab 2 clips. And we are going to place this so that we have it wrong side up. You're going to align those edges. Align the edges and clip together. You're going to sew the darts at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And basically when you sew a dart, I will show you, you want to align. Let's see if I can pull this closer to you. You have this dart here and we're looking at it on the wrong side. So I'm going to fold this together so that we have the straight edge together like so. And I'm going to clip it. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew from the bottom. And you're basically going to sew with the seam allowance given until you run out of space. Okay, so the darts are now sewn. And because I'm sewing with vinyl, I did do 2 rows of stitching. I went ahead and added another row of stitching on the outside of my stitches just so that there is no pressure on that first row, and then that way we don't have any stitches coming through on that exterior. Okay, so now you can go ahead and trim your seam allowance on your darts. The next step is an optional step. You could go and top stitch all of your front, all of these areas that have not been top stitched. I personally am liking the slouchiness of this. I am not going to top stitch. I think it looks great so far the way that it is. Totally up to you on whether or not you want to go and top stitch this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it all the way that it is right now and move on to the next step. Okay, so I need to go back to step number 3 because I totally missed doing the other 2 panels. It looks like I missed that, and we need to get that together just like we have the bottom. So in order to do that, I'm going to go back to step 23, and basically you're going to grab your ruler and make your marks above the lines that you created for your stabilizer, and then we're going to sew on that line on both sides and then install those rivets. Okay, so we need to make sure to do that so that we have our pieces together. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a bunch of clips and we're going to clip the sides on each side, and we're just going to baste these sides together, only these sides here. So you want to go ahead and clip where everything is coming together, and we're just going to baste it down. All right, so I'm going to start right here, and come down to about here. I'm not going to go all the way around or anything like that. And then I'm going to start on the top right here and come down to about at the end down here, okay? That's all we're going to do, just base those edges together. Okay, so we have basted the sides down on both of our sides. I am going to go ahead and set this to the side for now. Okay, so pack number 5, we're actually just going to start working on our slip pocket. I think this is where I might try to put the this little guy here, if I can remember to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my main lining piece and just lay them to the side for now. We're going to take our slip pocket and we are going to place this lengthwise, wrong side up. I'm going to go ahead and flip it this way. And now we're going to go ahead and grab some double-sided tape. I will use this 1/8 inch wide, and what we're going to do is we're going to take double-sided tape and place it on the lines that we previously drawn on both sides. It's okay if it does end up on top of your interfacing. It's not a big deal. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the paper, and you are going to fold this raw edge to meet that double-sided tape. We want this to be right along the edge, as straight as possible. I need to turn it this way. There we go. All right, there's one side. And go ahead and remove the paper on the other side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. And your edges should meet. There we go. And what we're doing is basically just making our center mark here. There we go. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our slip pocket side trim pieces. I'm going to turn this right sides up. So our lining, or the pocket should now be right side up, and go ahead and take your trim and lay it right sides together. And we're going to clip the edges. There we go. And I think here it's a little off, so I'm going to undo this really quick. Perfect. Okay, so go ahead and grab the other side and lay it right side together and clip those edges. All right, so this is what we should have at the moment. We are going to go ahead and not top stitch, we're going to stitch on both long edges at the seam allowance given in the pattern, okay? I'm going to go ahead and insert this little guy in here. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to trim the slip pocket side trim. Okay, so we're going to trim all the layers, so go ahead and grab your scissors. And you want to trim this down to about halfway. All right, so that is trimmed. Oh, that looks cute, doesn't it? Look at that. That's cute. I like it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open these up. So press your seams, especially since you've got vinyl here. You want to press them, and then we're going to top stitch along those edges at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so this is what we've got here. Now we're going to go ahead and grab some more double-sided tape. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch for this one, and we're just going to place it right along the raw edges, okay, right here. Let's go ahead and remove the paper. from both sides. And we're going to fold this in half. Need to place it this way. And we will have raw edges at the bottom, it's fine. There we go. Well, that looks good. And make sure if you are using a woven label like I did that you have it, you don't want it on your half mark. You want to make sure you have it down a little bit, and it will be fine. I do need to slide this over just a little bit. There we go. That is really cute. Look at that. Brilliant. It is a brilliant way to do a pocket. All right. So you want to go ahead and burn anything that's on the bottom of your raw edges. And I do have some, so I definitely need to burn a little bit of stuff going on here. Cool. That looks good. All right, so go ahead and grab one of your main lining pieces. All right, and you're gonna need a ruler for this. And you'll go ahead and make sure that you have your center marks at the bottom curved edge. You know it's the bottom because we have the curves. Mark my center right there. And you want to grab a ruler and center this. So I will go ahead and mark my center on this as well. And I will not be cutting into this. I'm just going to kind of pinch it since it's waterproof canvas. I can see where that center is. And I want to make sure to have the front where that little woven label is. And you want to grab your ruler and position your pocket as indicated in the pattern, okay? All right, I have it centered now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew down this right edge and come down the bottom and go back up the left. Okay, and then I am going to just kind of fold my bottom like this and put clips into place so that it doesn't move. And I'll move this out of the way as I come down to the bottom. Okay, so you'll want to go ahead and sew that down at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now you want to go ahead and make some marks at the top to place your rivets. You want to make it centered. That's going to be so pretty with the rivets right there. So grab your ruler and make your marks and then go ahead and place your rivets down. All right, and you want to make sure to punch your holes through all the layers, okay? All the layers here, and then we'll place our rivets in. Well, how stinking cute is that? I love it. Cool, we're gonna go ahead and set aside our main linings for right now, and we're gonna go ahead and grab our last pack, which is pack number 6. All right. All right, in this pack, we've got our tabs, the last remaining zipper, the back zipper trim. We've got our top back trim, our back pocket, and then our back pocket lining. I will install or sew on my back tag here. And then I think the first thing we're gonna work on is placing the back pocket lining with the zipper. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put my bag tag on real quick. Okay, so right now we wanna grab the back pocket lining that is the smallest piece, okay? The shorter piece right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab these other pieces and just set it to the side because right now we just want the zipper and the shortest lining piece. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and place. We wanna make sure that the zipper is closing to the right, and it is, and we wanna have it face down, or I'm sorry, right side up. So your lining piece should be right side up, and then this will be right side up. And it's okay if your zipper tabs are longer than the panel, it's fine. I do want to center that, so I'm gonna go ahead and just mark my centers here to make sure it is centered. Grab those clips and start clipping at the top. And it is the way it's supposed to be this way, with your zipper tabs being longer is fine. All right, we're gonna go ahead and baste this down. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and grab the back pocket exterior and then some more clips, and we are going to center the back pocket lining with the right side. We're going to center the back pocket lining right sides together with the straight edge of that back pocket. Clip those top edges, and oops, the way that those zipper tabs are looking right there, that is what it's supposed to look like, so don't worry about that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and sew these together using the seam allowance given in the pattern. Make sure you move that zipper out of the way. We're going to fold the back pocket lining under and wrong sides together with the back pocket and finger press. Let me go ahead and close that up. We will top stitch. Let's go ahead and top stitch here. We want to go ahead and grab that other lining piece and take this back panel and place it so that it is wrong side up, and your lining should be right side up. And we're going to place this right on top and line up your edges and line up. It should line up with your lining piece that has been stitched down. So go ahead and line up the top. Right. We're going to go ahead and make a mark as well. It looks like we will be pulling our bag through this lining piece. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a mark. You can make it as big as you want to, but since this is vinyl, I am going to make it as big as I can. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what my lines are for here, to leave that part open and not to sew that close. So I'm going to go ahead and baste down the zipper. All right, so it should look like this. We have our lining stitched on the top now. And now we're going to do is flip this back over, and we're going to clip these edges of our lining pieces only, because we're going to sew down each side to close it up for now. And remember to leave the bottom open so we can turn it through. And if you have edges that are longer than the other side, it's fine, not a big deal. There's quite a big seam allowance here, so it's going to be fine. I am going to sew with it just like this on the bed. So I'm going to have my lining down with my exterior up so that we can see. You don't want to sew over your zipper or anything like that, just like before. So make sure not to do that. So let's go ahead and sew down the left side, or down the right side, excuse me, to your opening, and then down the left side to your opening. All right, so we have sewn our lining together. Now what we need to do is trim this down, okay? So trim our seam allowance down over here. All right, so this has been trimmed. All right, so we're not trimming the bottom where our turn hole is, okay? We want to leave that alone. All right, so this is what we have right now. We've got our opening and our back. That looks really good. Looks real good. All right, so now we're going to take our back zipper trim. I'm going to turn the back pocket so it's right side up. We're going to take our zipper trim and place it right sides down. You do want to center this as well, so make sure you center it. It will be a tad short, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then match up that center, flip that top edge. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sew this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. All right, so now what we're gonna do is you're gonna trim the exterior only right at the top, at that seam, okay? All right, so there we go. We've got that trimmed. So now we're gonna go ahead and finger press this up. And we are going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so you wanna grab your scissors now, and we're going to cut this following this little edge going up to the edge of that zipper trim, okay? So carefully, just follow along. There we go. Do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna, no, turn it around this way. There we go. Well, look at that. That looks great. All right, so go ahead and grab your 2 ring connectors and then also your D-rings or triangle rings, whatever you're using for your hardware here. All right, so I've got my triangle rings here and then our connectors. I'm gonna go ahead and thread these through. You want this bar to be where those raw edges, this bar to be where those raw edges are. And we're gonna close that up. You could baste this down if you like, but I'm just gonna go ahead and take a clip and do the same thing on this other one. So I've got the triangle ring and I will thread this through so that the bar is against where the raw edges are, and fold that together in half. And then you're gonna grab a ruler and you're gonna make a measurement on both sides of the top. And this is where we're going to place the connectors. So you wanna make sure that you check out the pattern for those markings. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so I've got the marks made. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to place our D-ring tabs on the inside of that line that you just drew for that measurement. And you want them to be positioned to where they're overhanging by about 1/2 inch, but the triangle rings or your D-rings are facing down towards the bottom of your bag. Okay, so clip up there in place. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. You'll want to place it on the inside of the line you just made and overhang about 1/2 inch or so. And I will go ahead and clip that down. And you want them to be as straight as possible. Now we're gonna go ahead and to the machine and we'll baste this down. All right, so this is what it should look like right now. That looks really good. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and grab the back top trim. That's the one that looks like this. It's your back top trim. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and place this right side down. We'll go ahead and clip our edges together. You wanna make sure you have the right orientation on here. The shorter part of this piece should be facing towards the bottom. Your pieces should be right sides together. All right, make sure that the zipper is out of the way and your D-rings are facing down. You do not want to hit those. We're going to go ahead and sew this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. All right, I did need a hump jumper to go over my D-ring tabs. Let's go ahead and finger press the back top trim and the connectors away from the zipper. The connector overhang ends, they should be laying under the back zipper trim. So let's go ahead and place that down. get that seam underneath. You want all of that to go underneath, including the connectors here. There we go. And we are going to top stitch this. Okay, so now this is where you want to go ahead and place your rivets. You'll place them right here, right on that trim, right in the center if you'd like. I am worried that the rivets I have may not be long enough. I might actually skip the rivets because I ran out of the really long ones and I don't want to poke a hole in this. So this is where you want to go ahead and do that. I have a wavy zipper. That's okay. But go ahead and put in your rivets if you'd like. I'm gonna skip that. I don't want to skip that, but I definitely don't want to put a hole in here if they won't work out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that out right now. All right, so moving on to the next step. We are going to grab our front. It's already together. How cute is that? All right, so you want to trim off anything that's overhanging anywhere. Like I have some overhanging right here, so I'll go ahead and trim that off. We have the back, the front, and now we're going to go ahead and grab our lining pieces as well. Okay, so go ahead and figure out which lining you would like to be paired with the front of the bag. I personally don't have a preference, so I'm just gonna put this one for the front and this one that has nothing for the back. Go ahead and set a lining piece and a main. Set that aside for now. We're gonna go ahead and take one lining piece and match up the sides of the top of the bag up here. Grab some clips. All right. We will clip the top. So we're going to go ahead and sew this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. All right, so now we're going to trim away that main lining up here on the seam allowance. Only, don't worry about the lining. Just trim away the exterior piece only. All right, so that has been trimmed. Now we're going to we're going to press the main lining away from the back front and we're going to top stitch this. You want to have the seam allowance go behind your lining. Okay, we're going to top stitch on the lining side, not the exterior side. So this is what we should have so far. That looks really good. Go ahead and set that to the side and go ahead and grab your other main lining piece and then your back piece and go ahead and lay this right sides down and clip the top edge. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. I feel like I've made so many mistakes just not paying attention. It happens to all of us, right? Please tell me it does. But it's looking so good. All right, so we've got our top edges aligned and they are right sides together. So go ahead and sew this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. We're gonna do that same exact thing that we did on this side. So we wanna go ahead and trim the back top up here of that exterior. All right, now that that's done, go ahead and turn it so it's right side up and place that seam underneath the lining. Finger press that. Here we go, and we're going to go ahead and top stitch on the lining side, not the exterior side. Okay, so go ahead and grab both pieces and they should look the same. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to open this zipper pocket, okay? We're going to put this together, right sides together. We want to start off with this main exterior and the lining. We want to match up that seam. So we've got, here we go, that's matched up. And so now we're going to go ahead and match up the other side. All right, and then clip that. And then now we're going to go ahead and clip around all of the edges. Okay, everything is clipped together. All right, so we can go ahead and start sewing all around the entire perimeter at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And just remember to make sure that you have that zipper on the back open, okay? Because we're gonna sew this together and then we're gonna trim the seam allowance using pinking shears around the curves, and then we're gonna pull it through, okay? Also, make sure that all your lining pieces, everything is out of the way. You don't want to sew over any of your lining pieces, okay? Here we go. Now we're ready to go. Okay, so everything is sewn together, everything is trimmed. Now we are going to reach through, I believe we're going to reach through our pocket here. And we're going to start pulling everything through. Wow. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Everything fits nice and snug and perfectly. Oh my goodness, look at that. I think I can probably put some clips or something just to hold this fold down because it is kind of thick. The snaps down here fit perfectly in there. So we had to push this in. My seams look great. All right, the only thing left to do is to close this back pocket. So pull that out. And we're going to close that up at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. There we go. Now go ahead and tuck that back in. Wow, everything fits so nice. Oh my gosh, I gotta get the strap now. I don't know, I feel like I need to order this vinyl because I didn't have enough to make a strap, so I used the lining for it, and I thought maybe it would look good, but now I'm thinking it looks too, I don't know, I should maybe order some more and make a strap out of this vinyl. What do you guys think? I think I might have to. I don't know. Oh, but that looks really good though. Tell me what you think. Wow. I love it. I think that we need to, it's definitely kind of thick up here, so having something just kind of hold this down. Oh goodness, you guys. I love it so much. It came out so good. Such a pretty slouchy bag. This vinyl is so nice. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much to Alexis at Rosa Patterns for allowing me to use your pattern on my channel today. Congratulations on your new pattern. It is amazing. You guys have got to grab this and make it. It does have a lot of pieces, but as always, her patterns are amazing. They come out stunning. This is so beautiful. Oh boy. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please consider subscribing. I would really greatly appreciate it. And also if you could give it a like. Again, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, guys.